Guys, if I can ask you, good morning. Hi, everyone. Can I ask everybody to start making their way in and start taking their seats? We're starting slightly late. I know there was some need to check the bags in and get out of our hotels. If there are people outside the back of the room, please start making your way in. This is a really, really exciting morning. We're all going to get to vote all of the work that you've done. And especially that these guys have done. They've worked really, really hard. Just want to ask, have you all had a good week? Yeah? Been good. Now, to start our morning, though, I have a really important announcement to make. Well, I'm not going to make it. Kuldar is going to come down here, and he's going to bring Marta as well, down into the centre. So we'll let them just come down.
Round of applause.
Please, yeah. Give them So, a long week, and we've done a lot of work. These guys are all ready, but for the moment, as in life, there are some very, very important moments, and I'm very excited to bring Kuldar down.
Thank you. Let someone Isaac. Have a nice event.
What an amazing. Congratulations. What a way to start our day. How amazing is that? I am such an old romantic. It's just like, amazing. Lydia, hello.
Hi, Lydia.
Are you going to sit up at the top, Lydia? I think they've put you down here so that you can see the teams. Here.
Number 11.
Yeah. I don't know where to go from that. It was so amazing. It was just such a massive congratulations. It's really awesome.
Well, it's another union, right?
It's another union.
Another union in the European Parliament.
Yeah, the seat of European love. I love it. Congratulations, guys. I'm so happy for you. We're going to get on, though. The first thing that we're going to do is to test the voting system. This is the most important bit. I'm going to hand you over to Joanne shortly because she's going to really do the main of this with the teams. But we are going to do a voting test. This is so exciting for me. So in front of you, there is a well. You got a question already. Let me explain it and we'll... Give me a chance. So there's a well and there's a button with it's like a green button with a cross, and then inside there's a little circular button. There's a white square with like a circle in it, and then there's a red square with a minus. I'm sure we're all aware that the plus is to vote in favour, the minus is to vote against, and the circle is to abstain. So the way it will work is you're going to be voting for the teams to choose whether their campaign would stop you scrolling. So agree, against, or abstain. Let's try not to abstain too much. For the purposes of this, though, let's have a test. So, who has checked out of their hotel? That will be the first question. We're going to open the vote. The vote is open. You'll hear me say that. And from that point, you can vote. You will now see on the screens. We'll give you some time. Okay, vote continuing. We're not going to leave too much time, so you need to get quite quick on your vote. We don't have much time, and I can see some votes aren't registered. The light on your thing should come on in front of you. Should it? No? Normally all the lights will come on. Yeah. You have to press the little circle button on the inside, not the other button. Worth doing a test, hey? Yeah, everyone, can I see the votes coming? I think so. Okay, vote is closed. The vote is closed now. Result. So 11 people still leaving their stuff in their hotel and going home without their bags, maybe. 10 people aren't sure. Stayed in someone else's hotel room, maybe. I'm kidding. Okay, let's have another test, just to check so that you guys get into it, because the vote's going to move quickly, like I said. The next vote we're going to ask is, have you managed, while you've been in Brussels, to try the famous Belgian friet? So have another vote. Vote is open. Cast your vote. Yeah. We're going to move quickly, so it's good that you're able to do it. Everyone, the votes go quick. This is about how much time you're going to have. Vote is closed. Result. Okay. Most of you. Any good? Who knows? Anyway, so that's how the vote's going to work. The way that the votes will work is the most positive votes for each campaign will go to another round. So it's important that you vote conscientiously, seriously. There's a big prize for these guys to win. Please also don't only vote for the rooms that you were in, but for the ones that you really believe. And from that, I'm now going to hand over to Joanne, who is going to take us through the groups. Joanne.
Thanks, Jack. So over the past 4 days, all of you have had insights from external experts and also from advisors, MEPs and commissioners. 8 themes, so we have 8 groups. Each of the 8 groups nominated 4 presenters yesterday, democratically, and we will invite each of those groups individually to the stage. They have a 5-minute presentation. They will present from here, after which there will be a 3-minute Q&A. So they have to defend their social media campaign and their idea for a better Europe for youth to you. So you have an opportunity to ask questions, and as per previous days, raise your hand and Jack will moderate the Q&A session. So that will happen, and then you get the opportunity to vote. Now you know how to vote, and just to remind you, as Jack stated, you are voting for the campaign that would make you stop scrolling. So there's one question. So please listen intently to each campaign and vote on the merit of the campaign in front of you. Okay?
Just let me come in quickly. I forgot to do some other housekeeping. The ushers have told me that we must, to remind you not to have any bottles. They need to be in your bags as well while we're in here. No food and drink. And just to mention as well, we have Lydia Pereira is with us. We also have Maria Walsh who will come. Yeah, let's give a clap to Lydia Pereira. Yeah. And Manfred Weber will join us. They will be sort of moving in and out as their calendars arrive, and we will hear from them on the campaigns.
So 5-minute presentation, 3-minute Q&A, and then you vote. And we do this 8 times. After we've heard from all of our presenters and our teams, we then look at the votes and we choose the top 3. The top 3 teams then will give a 1-minute elevator pitch. There is no Q&A after that. You will be asked one simple question: who is your winner? And then you will be asked to vote for green, red or white. And they will all each hold a card that represents whether they are green on your voting screen, whether they are red or whether they are white. But we will remind them when we get to that stage, Jack. And that is the process, and of course we'll have prize giving before we end. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready? Yay!
More importantly, are you ready?
Yeah. Yay!
With that, ladies and gentlemen, our MEP, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the very first team with their big idea for a better Europe for youth. Please, can you give a warm European Union welcome to the Architects of Integrity. And we need the clicker.
I would like you all to imagine that each and every one of these elected officials in this room are to some extent being bribed, turned, or proven not to be trustworthy. The European Union is a powerful union. We are united by our shared values, political priorities, and foreign policy. A blessing we might take for granted. The 27 member states that have each committed and chosen to be a part of an international union that acts in the interests of the member states and makes a great powerhouse, and for some, a great enemy. Foreign powers are currently threatening this. There are many areas where the European Union makes a desirable partner. We are a dominant commercial union with a variety of diplomatic connections and influence. We are respected as a continent in the eyes of global powerhouses such as the United States, China, and India. 27 member states are in an alliance of shared knowledge, trade, and intelligence in favor of the people of the European Union. An ideal many nations and countries only could dream of. This power comes with a heavy burden of duty. A duty that makes us strong, but also leaves us vulnerable to corruption. Corrupting the European Union would give you power over 27 governments and 450 million citizens. Foreign nations corrupting the Union would lead to EU institutions' integrity being at risk and open to attacks by hostile nations. This can cause our allies and our member states to lose faith in the European Union. This is not only a danger for the coming years, but for generations to come.
If you take a look at the current situation regarding the topic we face, a reality, where Qatar is allegedly bribing members of this House or people who are linked to this parliament. Russian interference not only in the United States, but also regarding Brexit, and it doesn't even stop there. Our upcoming election is a prime target for Russian interference, and their goal is to weaken the European Union for their own very benefit. If we don't protect our democracy, it needs to be protected. We will have some difficulties in the future. The truth is, our internet is already bombarded with foreign fake news, opposing our very own values. And the very reason why this is problematic is because this foreign influence weakens our upright to vote for our European principles, institutions, and it weakens our very own foundation. It is our responsibility as members of the European People's Party to defend this and protect our freedom and right to vote. It is irreplaceable for us.
With all of the challenges that we are facing in Europe nowadays, we need to see the apathy as our biggest enemy. That's one of the messages that we want to send to all the young people in the European Union. We don't want just to tell them that they need to vote and to say that it's so important to be politically active. Our main goal is to make them really understand and to change their behavior and They need to see how important is their interest, and even more important, to make them engage with the protest that happens in our union right now, because it's going to matter for everyone for every years after that. And, of course, when you see our target group, the best way to be in a good touch with them is to have a very good managed social media campaign.
So, this social media campaign will include a 30-second video, and after that we will have an invitation for our target group to proceed with searching information in a specially created website. Also, because we want to engage them for long term, we would advise them and recommend and encourage them to do a video about their view of integrity. So, after that, because taking actions have to be kind of measured and we want to be sure that our process is in action, we will check, of course, the way with how video views we get and also the engagement rate of our group. But also, this campaign is not only a single action. We want to continue long term, and because of that, the engagement of the EPP group is also important. And what actually the EPP members can do, we think that is that they can provide more transparency about their work, and that they can protect the European citizens, the European People Party itself, from corruption and external interference, because we already saw that even the European Parliament is not protected from interference. So we encourage you to stick to our values.
The European Union is not just a union. It's our home, a great continent, and a global powerhouse. It is now 9 months left until the continental elections are being held. Election period leaves us open to attack from foreign states outside the Union and their attempts to control the outcome of the election. An election that defines the Union for the next 5 years to come. Now is not the time for discussion or suspicion. Now is the time for action. So stand with us, fellow Europeans, against corruption with Europe. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to have 3 minutes. Firstly, we're going to hear from Lydia Pereira just about the topic. I wonder what your impression of that pitch was. We'll just take a few comments from you quickly, yeah. That's number 11 for the sound team, yeah.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Lovely to hear your presentations and congratulate you on your work during these days. Well, the topic that you guys bring here today is a very topical one, is a very timely one. As you know, in the past months, the European Parliament has been heated by some series of scandals. And I think this is relevant. Why? Because we need to rebuild trust of people in democracy. Democracy today is at its lowest levels of acceptance, of approval. And therefore, we need to take action, and that's one of your main messages in a closing argument. We need to take action, and we need to make sure that people can trust the elected representatives they have in the houses of democracy, as in this one. So I believe these are topics of interest for all young Europeans that will be voting for the first time or for the second time or voting for the European elections, and so congratulate you on your capacity to bring such a complex topic to the discussion.
Thanks, Lydia. Okay, yeah. Let's take some questions then. We'll have a couple of minutes. Hands up if you have a comment or a question. I know it's difficult because you don't want to criticise anyone's work. But everybody in the room put their hands up. Everybody, put your hand up. Let's just get them exercised, and it's the last morning. Put your hand down if you have zero thoughts about what was just said. Great, 39. No, okay, 200, please.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Linda from Germany. Thank you very much for your presentation. I was just wondering, you were talking about how to reach all the people and to get close to them with social media and all the video campaigns. And I'm wondering, is there anything you can reach the people who are not on social media or who don't follow EPP? So with that topic that's so important. Thank you.
Well, we can develop this idea, of course, further, and reaching people who are not engaged in social media can be attained, for example, through schools. I think this is a better way to do that, because especially if we try to encourage youth, because we're all here like youth generation, we have to start with school and of course the last grades of high school. So we can do that actually. And if we speak of elder people or something like middle age, we can of course try to do other kind of campaigns, maybe posters on the streets and other, yeah. Thank you.
I'd just like to say hi to Isabel Vizela Lima as well, who's an EPP Group MEP, who I missed you there. Wonderful to have you here. If you'd like. Perhaps would you be willing afterwards to make comments about the next group? Are you willing to participate? Okay, wonderful. Thanks as well. Any other comments in the room? No? Yeah, 288. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jean-Louis Anne from Belgium. I think really the idea is really interesting because also of all happened these last months. One concern I have is how could you target people that don't trust the medias anyway, because it also might be a big challenge. I see many young people that believe in conspiracy theories and stuff. How could you convince them to follow this app?
As we are facing this issue, we have data to provide them with actual facts. The general media doesn't always get to every one of us, but we can make it a big spread with all of us. Every one of us can spread a message to fight corruption and tell them what are the facts about it, where it is happening, and what we can do to fight against it.
Okay, big round of applause. I think that's all we've got time for on the Q&A. Let's have a massive round of applause for this team, though, for putting effort. They've worked through the night. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Now we get to vote. So the question we're asking is, will a social media campaign like the one that they've proposed stop you from scrolling? So everybody knows how it works. Green button, the circular button on the inside next to the sticker is in favor, the white one is abstain, and the red one is against. 357 has a question. You have a question, an urgent question. Please.
Good morning, everyone. It's a more general organizational question. I'm wondering if we are going to see the videos this group or the video this group proposed.
Well, if they get approved, if we do it, then they will have the opportunity to create such a video on this topic. No. This group doesn't have a specific video. There are some groups that have videos, but the idea is that if they win, there will be a chance for them to pitch to the social media team to put this campaign together. Okay, so let's open the vote. The vote is open. Would this campaign stop you from scrolling on your phone? The vote is open. Oh yeah. Ah, there we go. Keep voting.
Yes means.
So, obviously, it's a good thing to stop scrolling, right? So it's a positive. It's a good thing that they will have caught your attention. We'll give it a few more seconds. If your vote is not registered yet, do it now. Okay, vote is closed. Let's find out how well you did. 254 people in favor of your campaign. Very well done. Okay, we'll see if that matches up with the other 7 groups. Thank you. Oh, no, sorry, yeah. Awkward. Sorry, 55 people in favour, 173 against, actually. But you never know. There might be some good numbers against other people as well. And 26 abstain. Who's abstaining? Sorry, guys, that's really my fault. Good luck. Let's see how you do. Counting votes in this house is not my day job. It's exciting when I get to do it, but it's very rare.
So well done to the architects of integrity. We are now moving to our second team. Please give a warm welcome to Team EPIC.
So, we are EPIC, and within the next 5 minutes we want to convince you to be EPIC with us, to create an EPIC future, and we want to tell you why it is so important that the EU and the EPP addresses the topic of housing as one fundamental element of the cost of living crisis. We want to start with an imagination exercise. Imagine a future in which you do not have to wait for your granny's funeral to own a house. Yes, it might be hard, but yes, it might be true. So on Monday we heard that many young people are faced with unpaid internships coming along with €1,000 of costs during a month. So that's why it's so important to face this issue. And we see that many young people have negative perception on the housing situation, particularly, for example, that they have no access to affordable housing, that they are anxious about their future homes, and that they feel like they have a lack of support. And we can support this with facts. Because the EU has a recent survey which showed that 93% of Europeans rank worry about the cost of living crisis as the #1 crisis. And we also see that there is an 18 percentage points increase in negative perception on future from 2022 to 2023. And we see that 4 out of 10 people thereby think that living conditions will be worse in 1 year. So isn't that a reason to start a social media campaign? Isn't there a reason to create impact? That's where we start.
And well, what's a good issue without a good design? So to tackle the problem of the living crisis, we came up with a campaign which is called EPIC. Imagine a future in which you don't have to wait for your granny's funeral to own a house. Wouldn't that be epic? With humor, we're trying to make the user stop, stare, and think for a while. Okay. And imagine a future in which heating your apartment doesn't require you to burn your furniture. With everyday objects and problems, we're trying to use an emotional appeal to get the user's attention. And of course, we're not just here for the jokes, we're also here to inform. The aim of the campaign is to inform about an interest-free EU loan for European citizens to afford housing. Thank you. We're aiming to reach people that are ready to own a house, that are ready to get a housing loan, and who are ready for an hashtag Epic Housing. With Epic Housing, we want to sell a vision for a better future in Europe. We want to give the youth, the European youth, an opportunity to change their own future for a better, and we want to motivate them to take matters in their own hands.
So for a successful social media campaign, important key points need to be considered. First, it's about the target audience. We want to reach young Europeans, and we want to reach those who wish to buy a house or apartment. Secondly, we need to set clear campaign goals. We follow a tagging strategy encouraging users to tag a friend. By this means, we want to achieve a high reach of the campaign. Third and lastly, we need to specify how we can measure the success of the campaign. Complementing the campaign goals, we focus on 2 measurements. Firstly, the engagement rate to capture how many friends are tagged. And secondly, the reach of the campaign itself. But what are the campaigning for?
The question is, how can the EPP Group make an impact? There are a few solutions, a few ways how to make this come true. Firstly, by implementing a policy for affordable housing. Collaboration with the ECB is necessary in order to succeed. And of course, as you heard, including an interest-free loans for young Europeans. Now, first and foremost, we all understand that affordable housing is not just a matter of bricks. It is about empowering the future. And we believe that every young European should have the opportunity to have a place that they can call home, to build a life, and to secure the financial future. It's about providing the stability and security that all of you deserve. Now, I will have a few questions that I would like to ask you. Please, let's make a little interaction. Raise a hand. Who is renting? Who pays rent? Please, raise your hand. Let me see your hands. I would say a majority. Good, thank you. Now, who owns a house and an apartment? Who owns a real estate? Raise your hands. Lucky you, good for you. Great. And who of you wants to own an apartment or a house in the future? Raise your hands. And would you be interested in an interest-free loan? Raise your hand if you'd be interested in that. As we can see, most of you are a target group, and I have a proposal. Let's be epic together. Thank you.
Okay, let's hear some comments from Lydia. Just some quick comments on that. An interest-free loan. Ooh.
I don't know. It's
Number 11, yeah.
Well, congratulations for bringing housing to debate in this parliament. Being president of the Youth of EPP, I can see that this is a problem for many countries, for many young Europeans across the continent, and to which we have to find a solution. One thing that we have to have in mind is that when we are talking about housing, we are talking about something that is of national competence. But even with that being a little obstacle, it does not impede us from raising awareness, and this is exactly what you are doing here, in a very well thought and constructed way, raising awareness for something that can hamper the aspirations of the young generations. We cannot live in a circumstance that our generation is going to live worse off than the generations that preceded us. And that's why we can together, in sharing best practices, because this is what the European Union is also about, we can share best practices in the problems that we have, even if we have national circumstances, and this is a good point. So I think it is very relevant. I think this is something that is very topical, is a priority. I come from a country, Portugal, that is having a lot of trouble for the younger generations to find a house, to have access to a house. Do you know when do a young Portuguese leave his or her parents' house? 33, 34 years old. So this is a huge problem to which we really have to find a way in resolving. As I said, national competence, but it does not impede us in addressing this problem, in raising awareness, because, and this is an underlying issue, we have an aging society in Europe. We have a demographic problem in Europe. And if we don't address it today, I think in the next years we will have some other issues. So congratulations for having the courage to bring such a sometimes controversial topic to the debate in this House.
Yeah. Okay, questions from the audience. Let's take a couple. Yeah, the gentleman here with blonde hair on number 33.
Yeah, my name is Joe and I'm from Sweden. I'm wondering, would not interest-free loans for some part of the population sharply increase the price of housing because people can't take interest-free loans, and would that not hurt those who would not qualify, those of middle age, those olders trying to actually move to an apartment at the end of their life? Would that not hurt them? Should we youth accept that because things have to go well for us, it should hurt others?
Okay. Please. It's a good question.
Thank you for the question. Of course, because we are here members of the youth event, that's why we focused on young people. But of course, the question is that, for instance, in our countries, if you make some regulations based only for young people or elderly, it won't be possible by law in some cases. So this is maybe the thing that you are putting the attention to. Of course, it matters on the state from state, but the most important thing is that, as Mrs. Pereira said, that it's about opening the topic, because there are ways that each state can do maybe to... The problem is that why the prices are so high, that there aren't enough new buildings that are being made. So there is a way to think about making a better options for maybe developers in some cases to build, for instance, compatible houses, cooperative houses, and so on. And then it's of course by the municipalities mostly to say who will use that apartment or not.
Okay. Thank you very much for your answer. Let's go to 244.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Agnes from Germany. The topic you choose for your campaign, I think we all can relate with it, but I have a question to the design for your social media campaign. I really think the young audience will like it and it was going viral, but I see a high risk of people not taking it seriously if you're addressing the issue like this. How will you deal with that and maybe do some changes, or?
Interesting.
Yes, I think that's a really valuable comment, and we were thinking about that. For us, it feels like, because there's so much content on social media, and we really saw the task to make people stop scrolling. And I think with an easy sentence and with just saying get an interest-free loan, they might not directly say it. And if they have a vivid image in their mind and they see, okay, that's maybe funny, but it can be true, and they can relate it, we can make it an emotional basis which encourages them to really stop scrolling. Nevertheless, I would everybody encourage to test such campaigns in a smaller group, see how they perceive it, whether maybe one sentence is better perceived than another sentence. For instance, maybe the furniture slogan is better than the other one, and you could extend it to several slogans, but you can make a test run and see which campaigns works better, and then maybe they might go with this one. But that's a really, really valuable comment. Thank you very much.
Okay. So let's have a massive round of applause for the team EPIC. Yeah, so now we're gonna start the vote. Well done, guys. Just to say that it's really, really difficult for people to come and stand here, present an idea, and then defend it as well. But let's have a vote. Remember, the question is, would it stop you from scrolling? This is about the success of the social media campaign. So, the vote is open. Let's see how well you do. Remember, green in favour, abstention. Weird one in this case, but if you need to, you can abstain. And against if you want. This is a really interesting one related to that question. Would this stop you from scrolling? I'm going to give you a few more moments to register your vote. Last few seconds. I think we're all done. Okay, vote is closed. Let's see how well you did. And I'll get it right this time. Of 268, 153 in favour, 97 against, and 18 abstain. Well done, Team EPIC. We'll see how well you do. Yeah, give them a hand.
Thank you very much, Team EPIC, and thank you all for your comments and your questions. We're now going to our third group, Youth for Youth.
Good morning, everyone. How about we shake it a bit up so everyone raises his hand? Please raise your hand. Not just raise your hand. And if anyone has never heard the name Erasmus or doesn't know the Erasmus program, then please drop your arm. I obviously have, but... So we see there's a vast majority of people who know what the Erasmus program is. Thank you.
We are representing the group that tackled yesterday the future of your jobs. And we are happy to present you now your trail of change. But first of all, let's talk about the very important why. We all need purpose in our jobs and in our life. But how can we actually identify what is meaningful to us? A McKinsey study revealed that 70% of employees define their sense of purpose by their work. So we see it's very important. Therefore, I want to ask you, who has already thought of working in a different country? Okay, see, it's a lot of people. I think it's great because being, and especially working abroad, means nothing less than broaden your horizon. It helps you to discover new cultures, see new possibilities in your job, and get out of your daily working routine. So as the majority of you know the people Erasmus, we want you to know our project better. Erasmus pour les professionnels, or shorter EPP.
The purpose of the program is to advance your career. EPP offers you to develop new skills, to discover job opportunities abroad, and also to extend professional network and meet new friends. This makes it a really fulfilling experience. And with that combined, it makes it a project of a lifetime. It cannot be missed. So we invite you to be a part of it.
For the first time, young professionals can transcend, travel and thrive, expanding their skills, exploring Europe and evaluating and elevating their career. This will provide an invaluable experience, challenging ideals, broadening new horizons and bringing our European family closer than ever before, helping people to find purpose in their work life and happiness in their personal life.
So, now how do we implement this vision? A key point is to have a similar structure like in the already existing Erasmus program, which is well established and has proven its worth. Thereon, 3 parameters have to be established. The first one being that the program will take place in every EU member state, allowing the participants to travel all abroad and within the EU. The second is that during the program, you will not just focus on one task, but rather explore a broad range of tasks, of skills that you can develop by workshops and by different workplaces, thereby gaining new skills, improving the skills you already have, and allowing you to find out what is meaningful for you.
And the third parameter is that the program is meant for every young professional. We deserve an opportunity to develop our skills even further. And the target is to support us with new experiences that will help us in building our careers. And here is the Kickstarter for our campaign.
The EPP project has the same well-known structure as already existing Erasmus project, but with 3 key main different parameters.
Firstly, the EPP is for every working person.
The EPP opens the door to explore different countries on a trial of adventure.
And lastly, the EPP challenges you to discover new skills.
So join the EPP.
So, we invite you to write your ideas and wishes for the project under the hashtag TOC, Trail of Change. And let's make this another success story by the EPP Group. Thank you.
Well done, guys. Isabel, would you like to make some comments about this? No? Yeah? Just a couple of impressions. That's number 10 on the microphone.
So, it's impressive what you get to do. You don't have so much time to do this, so it's impressive what you did. I find that you have really the energy, and showing the EPP like that, it's amazing. So I wish you all the luck.
Thanks, Isabel.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take some questions or some comments. Yeah, I can see 573. Sir, stand, state your name.
So, thank you for your presentation. I think it discusses about really important topics for the European youth. But I think that it's not really the matter about this kind of upskilling, because it already exists under the Erasmus umbrella, in particular the Erasmus Plus umbrella. I think it should be developed a portal for upskilling the youth with high demanded skills that are really technical, such as software engineering, maybe disruptive technologies such as blockchain and 3D modeling also, because it's really high demand and it's really difficult to upskill in such a field. So I want to thank you again for the topic you discussed, and I would like to hear your thoughts about this. Thank you.
Thank you for a very interesting question. Our idea was that we include people who are left out of Erasmus. A lot of people love Erasmus, but once they graduate, if they not work in academia, they cannot be part of it. And this is meant for every young professional, from bricklayers to lawyers, after they graduate, to gain new skills, whether it's in technological sector, or just to see how their work is done in another country and maybe learn a new language. So thank you.
Wonderful. I can see a hand here on 192. Thanks.
Yes, so I think the presentation was very interesting. However, I have one question. I wonder who is going to employ these young people, because I didn't really catch that. Are they going to be employed by universities, EU structures, by the EPP? If you could explain them, thank you very much.
Thank you for your question, first of all. I think the main idea is that there's rather having a frame system. So you will be assigned to a mentor. The mentor will help you, guide you through that year, assessing what are your goals, which stations do you want to go to. And the idea is that these Erasmus Professional is basically going to the companies saying they are skilled laborers, they want to explore new things. Would you be interested in taking part of that system? So it will be actually like workstations of universities, but also companies which are willing to stage these internships.
Okay, I think we've got time for one third question here. Yeah, please, 35.
First of all, thank you for your presentation. I love the idea.
Just raise the microphone a little bit. Sorry. Yeah.
I love the idea. As a young professional, I would most definitely stop scrolling. The only thing I wanted to mention is to maybe make it good. As we have more and more young entrepreneurs and startups, I would make it also ideal for them. Because as of the management side of a startup, if I would hire somebody and I would have to fear that my new force is going to leave me at any time, I would not like this idea. I would stop scrolling the idea only because I would want to throw some harsh criticism in, because I wouldn't want you to steal my new forces, of course. So some kind of compensation or anything for young entrepreneurs would be awesome to include as well. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. We completely agree, and we meant and set this project to be an opportunity to bring fresh ideas. So we weren't looking from the perspective, oh, somebody is going to leave. No, We're looking from the perspective somebody is coming back with more knowledge and even more powerful worker than before. Thank you.
Okay. Great work, guys. Thanks so much for presenting. Just to say hi to Maria Walsh, who's arrived. As I said, it's nice getting cheers, isn't it? Yeah. No, all right. Okay, so now we're going to open the vote. So remember the question is, would this stop you from scrolling? That is the question that you're being asked. The vote is open. Please make your vote known as soon as you can. We want to move on relatively quickly. So cast your vote as soon as you can. Remember, obviously, green in favour, that it would stop you from scrolling, and that being a good thing. White for abstention and red for against. Their eyes check the lights across the room. It's really difficult to tell though, right? Different sections. Okay, we'll close it in a few seconds. Final seconds of the voting. The vote is closed. Let's have the result. Okay, so 120 in favour. Not too bad. 141 against and 40 abstentions. Let's see if it gets you through. Massive round of applause. Well done, team.
So well done to Youth for Youth, and our fourth team are You Are Welcome. Good luck. Thank you very much. Take off your badge. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. We're going to show you why you need to say welcome. Why you need to say you are welcome, both as a European and as a member of the EPP. Recent events have shown us that we as Europeans need to take our destiny in our own hands. We as Europeans need to stand on the world stage, we need to say, this is what kind of future we want. And that's only possible if all the people of this continent are united. But there's something standing in our way. A bad actor standing in between us and enlargement. And that is disinformation. Disinformation we find is the biggest threat to enlarging our European Union. And that is wrong. We need to tackle that. And that is why we have established that we need an information campaign saying these are the things, these are the good things enlarging our European Union. We need to debunk misconceptions about EU enlargement, promote the positive benefits of enlargement, and we need to acknowledge that we are all vulnerable for misinformation and stereotypes. 51% of the EU's population do not trust national news. So saying we need to just go with news won't solve our problem. 80% of our population cannot distinguish between sponsored content, that is fake news, and real news. And 80% of Europeans think that disinformation is a threat to democracy. And a little less, around 70%, say they encounter misinformation on a weekly basis. The war in Ukraine showed us that we need to secure our freedom. We need to secure our democracy just more beyond than just the borders that we have now. So our message is, check your facts. You're welcome. You're welcome for yourself. It's for your own benefit if you check your facts. Not only you as members of the EPP, but all Europeans. That is our message as the EPP. You are welcome if we check your facts. And then we will say to those countries that are beyond our borders, you are welcome. Our message, our possibility that we want is a transfer of the ignorance, like saying that enlarging our union will make sure that even more immigrants come to our communities, our countries, that we will not be able to give houses to these people, that they will come and steal and so on and so forth. That is a lie. We need to be resilient in the face of that misinformation. And we need to use mistrust of our European project, and we need to turn it up, step up, and gain support.
Thank you. So our target audience for this campaign is 16 to 45 years old. People living in the EU, candidate countries, outside the EU, in Europe, civil society, and politicians and MPs who are the ones we need to convince to join the EU. Our campaign goals, encouraging a sense of solidarity with our candidate countries, because a bigger EU is a more solid EU, it's a better EU. Increasing media literacy and combating disinformation about enlargement, because this is the thing that stops the EU from becoming bigger and stronger, day by day. So, the outcome of our social media campaign, we want to get video views, we want this to go viral, we want as many people to see this as possible, to combat disinformation with information. And for those outside social media, we need you. We need you all to share this. Because a more informed EU is a better EU. And we need engagement. We need your comments. We need your support. And here, upcoming, we have our video, which we're going to show you in just a moment. It's about a minute long, regarding our campaign.
Europe is endangered. Various disinformation campaigns spread lies that life in European Union is awful, that people are being neglected here, that Europe has lost its true values, that all doors here are closed. Stop. That is not true. Citizens of the European Union share democratic values. We are all equal, we are all united, and we are all committed to uphold the principles of liberty, diversity, and human rights. Today, we have a message to all European citizens and all of the people striving to become citizens of European Union.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You are welcome.
I'm going to say thank you, and also you're welcome.
Stay where you are, stay where you are.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, we're going to get you some questions. A bit of video editing goes a long way, hey? Maria, can we first get some comments from you? It's great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you very, very much. And you can tell from the resounding standing ovation from a lot of your peers that you're welcome. It was a resounding success. And I love the video.
Thank you so much.
Who knew you could turn around a video so fast? And it's a lesson to all us MEPs to get outside of the conference rooms and go out and actually see what's on our doorstep. But a couple of comments from me. Really interested in your targeted audience and how you foresee engaging with a 16 to a 45-year-old, and just what kind of platforms or messages has that been thought about or discussed? No doubt maybe other people would say the same. I think it's fantastic linking into the likes of the European liaison offices in other countries, particularly our enlarging countries. And then finally, just really interested in your thoughts on the translation piece, making sure we're not just speaking in one or two or predominant languages here in the Parliament, in the EU as the 27 member states, but also the languages that new countries are coming in. But really pro-EU, and exactly what I feel as an EPP group we need to be saying more and more of. So thank you very much, and you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Maria, and thanks for taking time out of your schedule to be with us as well. So let's have some questions. 3, 4, 5 up there, and we'll take 42 afterwards.
So, hello everyone. I'd like to address not only the presenters, but I think all of us sitting here, and just to underline the idea that this group is presenting to us is the idea that we all live in a world where information is all around us. We use social media and we are easy to be attacked by misinformations. We are vulnerable. So the thing that we have to do, we have to stay resilient, we have to stay focused, and we have to check our facts, because not all the information that's being presented on the social media is true. So I wish to address you all. Guys, stay focused, do not trust anything, check the facts, and you're welcome. Thank you.
Not really a question, but I think he likes your campaign. Let's take another question. Have we got a question? Yeah, please. 198.
Hi, I'm Anna from Germany, and my question. Thank you for your presentation. It was really nice, and I think very inspiring. But I have one question. On the first slide, you chose 3 pictures. Why did you choose these exact 3 pictures? Thanks.
I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. I think they were generic pictures about climate change, stability, and so on. We chose those pictures because, there they are. We chose climate change primarily because enlarging the European Union will give us an opportunity. A larger European Union means that more countries step into our climate goals. And we, as common Europeans, can tackle climate change better. So, if we enlarge it, we will be able to tackle those problems better. And then as an EPP, we can say, you're welcome. Because we could do this better when we roll together. That's why we chose them.
It's a really good question. It's a really good question.
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't think of that.
Thank you.
There's no polar bears in North Macedonia. But interesting. It's a good question. Should we take one more? Anyone else got one? Yeah, right up at the back. I'm not going to see that number. 734 maybe? I don't know. 734? Okay, good. By the end of the week, I can hone in, please.
Hello, I hope you can hear me. My name is Buki Adebowale. First of all, I just want to commend you on such a powerful campaign, and actually the bravery that you took to, I guess, to use a double entendre meaning with the idea of you're welcome, tackling misinformation, but also tackling this underscore of, diversity, which is really, really important to me as a first-generation Black Irish woman. I suppose your campaign obviously focuses on misinformation, but if we look around the room, there's not a lot of diversity in terms of, race. I'm not sure how far that goes with your campaign in terms of misinformation. So my question to you all is, I suppose, do you have any core focuses that you'd like to tackle within this topic of misinformation in your campaign? Thank you.
So thank you for your question. Well, when it comes to diversity, I think that by including more countries within the European Union, we are not only increasing diversity, but we're increasing the solidarity of the European Union. And although we did not list it in the PowerPoint, that is a goal, a more diverse Europe. Because with more perspectives, with more different backgrounds, we'll be able to tackle these global problems, climate change, social problems, housing, which was mentioned earlier. Anything, any problem we have can be solved by diversity. And a diverse Europe is a better Europe. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you, team. You're welcome. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. You get voted on now. Okay. So the question is this is quite a broad idea, but the question is, will the campaign stop you from scrolling if it comes up on your phone? He's really in favour up there. So the vote is open. Let's take a look. Let's see how well you... Will this social media campaign stop you from scrolling on your phone? Keep casting your votes. I think this was team number 3 or 4.
I have no idea.
4. This is 4. So we're halfway through now. Once this vote closes, and we'll move on. Okay, get your votes registered. Remember, press the little circular buttons inside. Going to close it any moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, vote is closed. Let's see how you did. So far, the most convincing success. I assume you've got a good chance of getting into the next round. Big round of applause. Thank you. Okay, Joanne.
I'll take the clicker.
Thank you very much.
Well done, you are welcome. And can I just say, only 2 people presenting in this team. They did the heavy lifting. Okay, we're now going straight to group number 5, and please welcome Euro Guardians.
Stronger, safer, humans through the sea. Those routes are not safe because we do not have enough of ships to make them safe. So what we are proposing, there's that amazing organization called Frontex, which is European Union Border Protection Agency, and we want to make it stronger and better and more effective.
Like we've already heard, there are many issues with the current border protections, and they're also well known. Looking at, for example, the Eurobarometer surveys, 66% of Europeans say the actions of the European border protection are inefficient, and 47% say it's the most pressing issue for the next administration. Next. Furthermore, looking at the fact that there are many challenges to Frontex. For example, they have saved hundreds of thousands of lives in the past few years. They have to guard a coastline that's over 60,000 kilometers long. They have to guard a land border 14,000 kilometers long, and that with a build-up of agents up to 10,000, and that only until 2027. And there's one solution to that. One solution to save and keep up the European dream. The European dream that a little girl can travel to half of a continent without needing a passport. The dream that any one of us can study in another country and not needing all the other difficulties. For example, that a dad can work across the border and provide for his family. So what is our campaign message? We want to enhance the resources available to Frontex. We want to ensure that they're able to do their job properly and protect us, protect our freedom, and ensure that all human rights and international law is valued at our border.
All right, so I'm going to continue with the goals of our campaign. First of all, it's going to be from passive to action. And right, the campaign message was not the one. One more. So, yeah, the Europe's next generation is, of course, our target audience, and we have to convince youth to take action of a better Europe. Okay. So now we come into the actual 3 key goals of our campaign. First of all, we want to motivate young people to take action. It was no one less than Mahatma Gandhi who said, "You have to be the change you want to see in the world." Criticize, divide, and hate are all simple, but standing up, fighting for your values, that is difficult. It may be difficult, but it's definitely and actually the right thing to do. Next slide, please. Secondly, we have an opportunity for European youth to raise their voice, because history is happening right now, today, in this very moment. It didn't happen yesterday, it won't happen tomorrow, and certainly it won't happen by chance in the next few years. So in the end, it all comes down to one question. Do we want to say we didn't know, it wasn't us, and blame others for problems that we face today? Or, in the near future, want we able to say that we stood up and we fought? In other words, fight for your seat at the table. No, better yet, fight for the seat at the head of the table. Because if you won't, someone else will. And maybe it's someone you don't even like. And last but not least, it's going to be our vision for Europe. We decide about the Europe you want to live in. Will it be a Europe of division and doubt? Or will it be a Europe of solidarity and safety? And it's up to you. No, it's up to us. And therefore it's time. Time to act instead of react. Time to introduce evolution instead of revolution. And time to move forward together to a brighter future than the one we were used to. Thank you.
I come from a small rural town in Ireland called Bunclody. Today, I have the privilege of speaking in front of Europe's greatest representatives and youth representatives. But we need to extend this privilege beyond just the people in this room, make it accessible for everyone. That is the aim of our social media campaign. And not only will we roll this campaign out on platforms, we need to bring it into universities, schools, homes, not just for the people who are interested in politics year-round, but people who care about issues. And one of the biggest issues facing us today is migration and border security. I imagine many of us in this room feel very strongly about it. And we need to take our voices and the voice of others and bring them to the EPP so that they can propose actions in laws and policies that will improve our borders and make migration safer and our laws safer. Hold on, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, no, one more.
You're not done.
Yeah. In Ireland, we have a phrase, Ní neart go chur le chéile. There is no strength without unity. And to preserve the vision that the European Union has, we need a stable and sustainable approach to migration and border security, with a new and improved Frontex at the fore. We'll have stronger borders, more robust laws, and safer paths for migration. We'll have a better Europe, led by the hashtag YouthVote. That's you. Thank you.
Thank you. So an interesting call for a change to Frontex. Super politically complicated issue.
Sorry, we also have a video to...
Oh, you've got a video?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. I'm nervous now. That's the end.
That's it.
Sorry, that's my fault. Dramatic pauses and I came in, apologies. So, let's get some comments. Perhaps we can come to you, Lydia, on this idea of enhancing Frontex.
Well, I think it's this topic is as well relevant, and unfortunately for the past years and with the pandemic, this was kind of sidelined. It was not the priority. But the fact is that things are evolving, and it is true that Europe is the best continent in the world to live. And hence the reason why there's so many people that want to come here. They want to feel safe, they look for prosperity, they look for a life, they are running away from situations of conflict, and not only, but also for economic reasons. So this being said, the question about migration, and here in this parliament is no different, sometimes, or most of the times, is a very polarizing topic. And it seems like it is not possible to address it in a moderate way, because very quickly the two sides become very extreme. But we should always try to bring something else to the debate. We should not prevent ourselves from saying what we believe in, what we defend, and that's the reason why I think this is a good approach of trying to make things better and not avoiding such a complex matter as the topic of migration that will continue to pop up in the political agenda of the EU.
Thanks so much, Lydia. Okay, let's take a couple of questions. Hands in the air. Yeah, 141, please.
What kind of resources do you want to give Frontex to improve the organization?
Thank you. Thank you very much. For example, Frontex simply needs more personnel. Frontex has right now between 2,000 and 3,000 agents, and the EU already has planned to stocking up to 10,000. But looking, for example, at the last big migration crisis at the Belarusian border, Poland had to send 15,000 troops to support Frontex. Latvia, I think, has sent 9,000. I'm not sure about Lithuania. So you can see the numbers that are needed to ensure the protection of the borders. Also, again, hybrid warfare by criminals like Lukashenko. And it's not just the Belarusian border. There's a border in the Mediterranean. There's a border in Finland. And these borders just need the resources and, for example, personnel, but also more boats looking into the Mediterranean to saving lives, but also to patrol it.
Okay. Another question. Yep. Hands up. There's got to be another question. You're not going to let them get off without more questions? No? Anyone? Yeah, 339.
Comment?
Got you. Yeah, you're on. Yeah, you're on.
Oh, all right. I don't really have a question, more comment. I think you said your target group is the next generation, and I lived in Glasgow, and all my flatmates were quite woke, and I think they really, really wouldn't like this campaign. So I think for tailoring this campaign, it would be better to really just clearly say this is for youth with a centrist or centre-right view. And I think that could be good, because I think on social media you have a lot of left-leaning influencers or influencers from the very far right, but not so many from the centre. So that was my
Thank
comment.
you for the comment. We fully agree with that. And as you know, the migration and border security is truly a very polarizing issue. We don't want it that way, and we don't want to leave border security for a topic of the far right, because they're going to hijack it and use against us and common sense. So that's why we want to bring it in the middle to the center and propose a common sense solution that would make lives safer, both for everyone basically, and borders more safe. So going to the elections in 2024, we want to come to the young people with the message that you vote for EPP and we bring change, we bring solutions, and you vote for safety.
Let's take a question from 159, one final one.
Hi, I have a small question. Maybe you don't know that Lebanon is hosting 2 million Syrian refugees, and the situation in Lebanon is not that stable. And when it comes to, it explodes, these refugees will, of course, not go back to Syria, but these 2 millions will come to Europe. So I will ask you, how would you handle the situation, knowing that, suddenly 2 million refugees is like a huge burden? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I think our idea of a sustainable approach does have to factor in European states have limited resources, and we can't allow member states, communities, countries to suffer because they're taking more than they can. So in terms of alternatives to that, we have to look. I think that there are proposals coming forward from certain member states about resettlement options and sharing around people who come to Europe. And also, if we can maybe do agreements with other states outside of Europe to share around that burden. And of course, we shouldn't only say burden, because we have people coming here and all around the world who are tremendous and contribute to our communities and member states. So I think we just need to make sure that our member states and our countries don't take on more than they can, and the resources on things like education, healthcare aren't strained too much.
Okay. Oh.
And I definitely want to, we probably have the same opinion here, that we need to expand Frontex, that we need to give them the sufficient resources to deal with such a possible case, so they ensure all the human rights are valued, so we can ensure that they get fair and safe treatment. And so that's the reason also why we want to expand Frontex and make sure that we're prepared for such cases.
Okay, one quick question from our newly engaged gentleman. I can't see your number. 393.
I want to ask, why Frontex? Why not the nations that have borders with the problem countries? Thank you.
Yes, we already we had discussed that in our group. There's a reason why we can do some things better on a European level than the Mediterranean, for example. The Mediterranean, of course, has Italy, for example, France, Spain, having borders there and having also their own border guards. But it works better if we cooperate on a European level. We can save resources, we can be more efficient, we can help each other. And that is the reason I think for such a European issue we can best work together as Europeans. Thank you.
Okay, well done team. Let's give them a round of applause. It's not easy to do. Okay, let's head to our vote. Remember, the question is, will this campaign stop you from scrolling on your phone? So the resources that they brought, the video that they put, the vote is open. I love doing this so much. Get your votes in. Will it stop you from scrolling? Is it something that you will want to stop and watch and see more about? We'll keep the vote open for a little bit longer for some undecided fingers. I'm going to close it pretty soon though, so if you haven't cast your vote yet, get it in now. Okay, let's call it. The vote is closed. Let's see the result. 383 in favour, 191 against. An admirable effort. Very, very tough topic to take on. Well done. A huge round of applause to this team.
Isn't it remarkable that these young people are taking on some of the biggest challenges that Europe has, that MEPs discuss and debate every day over a 5-year mandate, and they have done it in 4 days. So huge respect, guys. Okay. We are going to our 5th team, Cyber Storytellers. Do you want me to take your badge? Okay. This one.
Cyber stories and their real legislative outcomes. What does this mean? We can use the power of storytelling, the power of the stories of real-life EU citizens to inspire and move our policymakers, to bring them closer to their constituency, to enhance youth participation, cooperation, and participation in events like these too. Cyber harassment takes many forms. We've heard about cases with hate comments, doxing, cyber stalking, and if we look at what this will look like in 30 or 40 years, even 5 or 10, all we can imagine is what happens when AI becomes more advanced, or when the metaverse and virtual reality become normalized and accessible in our everyday lives. What will this type of harassment look like? There is this gap in our legislation, because if we start legislating today, for us to have successful and effective legislation, it would take us maybe 3-4 years for it to be successfully implemented in each member state. Now, if in 5 years the technology develops again, we have that gap. Our vision is to bridge that gap using testimonials from our citizens, by giving a platform for mutual and effective communication between the EPP and its citizens. We are here to listen, and we are here to enact change.
Today, we are here together to break the silence, to listen and share our stories. That's why I want to talk and give you a small story I want to share with you. I want to talk about a small boy of 12 years old who was sitting in front of the class with red hair, small glasses, but he was not happy. He was in pain. He was lonely. He was bullied with many things, like he was getting his bag, opened it full of ink, dripping on the floor. Then after that he picks the bag up, goes to the playground, and had the kick me sign on the back. Today it's everywhere. We don't have any stop. It's not only anymore physical. It's on the cell phone. It's a weapon for the bullies to get the people who are so vulnerable to us. Today, we need to change the point that these people are getting the problems. Not only on the physical part, but if they are getting into the life, they want to get a step higher. But they need to have the help of the psychologist. That story I want to tell to you is my story. I was that guy 15 years ago, sitting here in the front with the tears in their eyes. Today, that's why I'm here. I want to spread the word. I want to break the silence.
Thank you for sharing. In this part, we're going to blow you away with some facts and figures. Let me start. 1 in 5 EU citizens calling upon mental health issues and mental health helplines are victims of cyberbullying. 1 in 6. Look around. It's 1 in 6 of you. Second one. 1 in 10 children every month are victims. But the sad part here is it's not even a crime in most of its member states. That brings me to the third fun fact. 24 member states haven't even criminalized this issue. At least, not yet. This is where we come in. To help you target the right audience for this social media campaign, we suggest 2 ways of connecting the youth with the EPP, but also bringing the politicians to us. We want to focus, like my colleague told us, on online testimonials from real-life survivors. We don't like to call them victims. I'm talking Facebook, I'm talking Instagram, and even TikTok. We need to collect these stories. The second and the main character of this campaign will be direct dialogue platforms. I'm pretty sure the EPP is well familiar with those. These will allow EU citizens to voice their concerns and share their ideas with us. We believe by monitoring this platform, we can turn real concerns into real policy.
The truth is that people often witness cyber harassment online and they don't act to stop it. In some cases, it has become normalized. This is an opportunity to change that together with EPP. Give young people a chance to share their ideas, to share their stories on how to create a safer online environment while participating in the great democracy which EU provides us with. Give them a chance to tell their story. And don't be afraid to take a chance of your own. Please now raise your hands, those of you who know someone or is someone who has been a victim of bullying. Well, look around, and these are just the cases we know of. So let's put an end to this. Use your vote to turn these sad stories into stories which can change Europe for the better. This is about all of us. Thank you.
Is that done? I'm nervous now. I think Maria, this is perhaps a good one to come to you on. This is an issue close to your heart.
Absolutely, and thank you to each and every one of you. Incredibly powerful presentation, that's first and foremost. Incredibly storytelling in your own way. And often what we find in this house, some tell it very statistically based, but we actually are here as human beings and we represent human beings. So what you did there was incredibly powerful. So thank you very, very much for awarding us all your lived experiences and your time. I'm really proud to say as an EPP group, we've really led out on this, particularly around mental health supports. Second leading cause of death right now in the EU for young people is death by suicide. And when you pointed out and you asked us all to raise our hands on who knows people who have been bullied, ourselves, whose mental health has been impacted, I can imagine everyone would put both their hands up, because the world of online as well as offline is blending and becoming more and more negative, unfortunately, as the years go by and technology is at the pace it is. We've recently stepped into the space of lived experience and hearing from a woman called Jackie Fox around an Irish legislation piece of work called Coco's Law in honour of her daughter, nicknamed Coco. So as you were sharing there, I was saying it was re-energising myself and my colleagues here to step back into that space now post-summer recess to make sure by the end of this mandate that every member state hears that. I mean, I have no comments and apologies for continuing on. Our chairman has come in. No better time to talk about new initiatives and continuing of initiatives when the chairman arrives and we can reiterate our work on Coco's Law and mental health. But an extraordinary important message, and I really, really wish you well, because I can tell you that our chairman here and many in their group are emotively driven to make policy change around cyberbullying and the impact it has on younger generations. So thank you very much. Thank
you, Maria. Okay, we're just going to take a couple of questions from the audience on this idea. As we see, Manfred Weber has arrived. We'll hear from him any moment. But number 6, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. The thing is, like, a lot of school children already engage in cyberbullying. And how do you want to criminalize, I don't know, a 9-year-old who bullies a 10-year-old online? So what do you think can be actually done in a legislative way not to criminalize children, or where do you think actually a policy can stop cyberbullying at a young age? Thank you.
Well, I believe criminalizing cyberbullying is not about putting children in prison. I believe it's about taking a stand and showing that it's a serious matter, and that we pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Anyone else? No? Let's take another question quickly. Yeah, right up at the back. No chance I'm seeing that number. Just shout it out maybe to the staff back there, they can hear you.
735.
735, we've got you, thank you.
Governments always seem to be playing catch-up with legislation, and to touch on MEP Walsh's point, in 2021 the Irish Government passed a piece of legislation criminalising the distribution of intimate images, and this was named Coco's Law. This legislation came after the untimely death of Nicole Fox, who took her own life. How do we push legislators to implement these effective, long-standing legislations across the Member States before it's too late?
Thank you for that question. I know that Nicole is an inspiration to all of us here who believe in mental health activism, and I truly believe that if we continue telling stories, if we continue bringing lived experiences to the forefront of our politics, that our policymakers will automatically become moved, because we are all human, and at the end of the day, politics is personal. It is about the connection between our representatives and our citizens. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're gonna go to the vote. So remember, the question is, would this social media campaign stop you from scrolling on your phone? So the vote is open. Good. We've had a bit of sort of in-chair lobbying already for some other of the ideas. So remember, obviously the green one is in favour, abstain is the white one, and the red one is against. Okay, we're going to move pretty quickly. So get your vote in if you haven't registered it yet. You've got about 5 more seconds. Okay, the vote is closed. Let's see the result. 167 in favour, 111 against, 39 abstentions. I think you've done pretty well there, guys. Big congratulations. Perhaps we'll see you later. Well done. Big round of applause. We do have one more team. I'm just going to ask you to sit down for 1 second. We have the chairman in with us now, and he's just wants to make a few final comments. His schedule means that this has to happen now. So, Manfred Weber, it's great to have you back in the room.
Thank you so much, and allow me please to jump into the program. Due to the busy agenda, I was asking to make my final words now and then pass over to the friends in front of me to say at the end, thank you, but from my point of view, a great thank you for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed the 2 days here in Brussels to have these kind of discussions and talks. I want to make sure that everything is fine, that we learn out of your experience for the next generation next year who will arrive then. So please give us a feedback on this. Please keep the community. We have also online ways to connect and to be together. And I must tell you that for the 3 days now, 2-3 days, we delivered, let me say, to organize everything. We invited you. But from now on, I have a request towards you, and that is, please continue to be our ambassadors now at home and help us also for the campaigning in front of us. That is the challenge, to win Europeans for voting for EPP, for your MEPs, for your candidates on the ground. So please help us to do so in the next upcoming month. That would be my request to you. And then I was told you experienced a special moment in the last days where Kuldar and Marta promised to go to weddings. So where are they? They are here? Then please come to me here. Wow, that's really great news. That's really great news. That's really great news. Let me congratulate you. Thank you. Congratulations and all the best, and all the best, all the best, all the best. You know each other since? 3 years? 2-3 years? 2-3 years. Okay. So it was not directly the youth event now, so this is also good. It's always bound to happen at some point. Okay. Yes. Okay. When I was running to the meeting, I was informed about this special event, and then I was asking, and has she confirmed? So that was my question.
Yes.
Okay. No, sorry now for putting you in such a situation. I want to congratulate you again. I have a small gift. Enjoy the glass of champagne. All the best, all the best, all the best for you. All the best for you. Congratulations. So that's the way how you can get from the chairman a glass of champagne. Huh? That's the way to do it. No, thanks so much. Dear friends, I really enjoyed it. Good to have you here. Be the ambassadors for Europe, for the EPP at home, and keep contact. Thanks so much and have a safe travel home. Bye-bye.
Well, we have to say that love ultimately rules the world, right? And I just want to say that Dennis did a remarkable job of sharing his own bullying story and being so vulnerable with us. So thank you very much, Dennis. Okay, so this is our penultimate team. Please welcome Reformation to the stage.
You and Susanna and Gabriel and Elvina and I, Sean, and all of us here are just starting out on our life. But we overlook the career of farming. Your food supply is in danger. More farmers are needed, and that's just the start. But we are blinkered by significant obstacles like access to land, the hesitancy for investment, the financial sourcing of machinery, the unpredictability of livelihoods, the hard manual labour and the unguaranteed time off that a career in farming brings. These make us turn a blind eye to this highly skilled, highly respected profession. Let's reopen those eyes today and look to farm for the future.
As we browse through the perception of agriculture and farming within the younger generation, it's clear that the life of a farmer is unattractive due to hard work, long hours, and no holidays. Our generation seek freedom and not to be locked up by chores. Also, there is a perception that there is a lack of incentives from the European Union for becoming a young farmer and being a part of a generational renewal of agriculture. And these perceptions are keeping young people from discovering this career path.
Only 11% of all EU farms are run by farmers under 40 years of age, but 38% of all EU land is farmland. With an ageing farming population, a huge surplus of farmland will be left in dire need of a farmer in the not-so-distant future. We need new farmers to take the reliance off Ukrainian imports, to help contradict increasing urbanization of Europe, and to embowel their food security in Europe as well.
Feed your career, and it feeds you. That's the message that we are going to send to our prospective farmers. Invest in being a farmer, become a farmer, and harvest, literally, but also harvest the benefits of being a farmer. Because otherwise, we will have a big problem. Because you can become a lawyer, you can become a teacher, but you can't become any of that without your food. All of us need food. But without farmers, we can't have any food. So we need to value our farmers. We need to see that farmers are a high-skilled profession. And that's the message that we are going to send into the world. Because we are going to say to farmers, feed your career, and it will feed all of us. This message shows that farmers are a high-skilled profession, and that we value them, and that we are in danger without them.
So, who do we want to target with this campaign? We want to target young people, 16 to 35, in small to medium European cities that haven't been exposed to this lifestyle, right? The farming lifestyle. We want to target youth that are unemployed or underemployed, looking for a direction that's future-oriented, environmentally sound, and fulfilling. Due to this direction, we want our transfer, what we want to engage in our young people is taking them from apathy to interest. We want to take this apathy that's often found in the youth, in these young people that don't really have this this direction and this interest, and interest them in a career that's good for both them and for the future of Europe. Success for us means engaging with young people, having them follow through with our calls to action, and eventually voting for the EPP. Our campaign will focus on humor and boldness in order to break the scroll, and this is just one example. I think it's very cute. The Highland cow of a possible post.
EPP, youth of EPP, you can be the change in this problem. Wow. We have a few points that should be put into the manifest, because then we can really change and we can help us out of the danger of no food. First of all, invest in the rural areas. Make them appealing again. Make sure that there are facilities like hospitals and like schools so people can live in the rural areas.
Another impact is that the European Union should develop scholarships, expand Erasmus with more agricultural programs and education, as well as engage schools around the Union to take part in the agricultural sector.
EPP, we want you to introduce more subsidy schemes so farmers can invest in artificially intelligent tools like precision technology to reduce manual labour and improve productivity. In Ireland, we have the GLAS scheme, which means green in Irish, or Glas Oscuelga. This scheme empowers Irish farmers to meet environmental standards for a monetary bonus. A similar incentive here would inspire young, up-and-coming EU farmers to ditch synthetic nitrous oxide fertilisers for life-enhancing biodynamic practices, reducing nutrient runoff, reducing soil disturbance, and then thus reducing the threat of eutrophication in our European waterways. EPP help new, young, prospective farmers evaporate problems so that nature, populations and Europe can thrive.
What do you think when you think about farming? It's not really appealing, is it? Because that's the reality. But we need to change that. And I want you to imagine, you want to be a politician, I think, probably all of you. But now imagine that if you want to be a politician, your parents should both be politicians. You should invest 1 million to get a chair right here. You get to live 100 kilometers from the nearest city. And there's no hospital in the neighborhood. That would be ridiculous, right? Why would you want to be a politician then? Well, that is the reality for the farmers. And that is why it is not appealing to become a young farmer. But we need to make it appealing. Because if it's not appealing and we don't have any young farmers, then eventually we will have a very big danger to our food supply. So it is really important that we change that. And that's what our campaign is about. So we should invest in subsidies. We should invest in education, and we should invest in facilities in the rural ground, because then we will have young farmers.
Your
then
5 minutes is up.
And then we will have the future. Thank you.
Okay. Clear support in the room. Perhaps we can take a quick comment from both of you. Lydia first, and then Maria, you are... This is right up your alley.
Well, it's great to have this, inspiring approach towards farming. I agree with what you guys say. It's sometimes a bit of a neglected activity in our economies, and so important, because if it was not because of the farmers, we would not have food in our tables. So my only comment is that I think what was missing in your last statement was innovation. All the rest, I think, was great. I think it's very good to have this refreshed approach towards farming, agriculture. Farmers for Future, it's a great slogan, but innovation and technology will be key in the food sector and in particular in agriculture. So, congratulations.
Thank you very, very much. And on a personal note, just delighted to see a Highland cow in your social media campaign. As an owner of Highland cows, I just felt spoken to there. Just really want to add to Lydia's point. I mean, each of you really compelled a fantastic story, and looking beyond the lens to try and get out to teach people. And to the previous presentation, it's just, and the one before, the misinformation, the disinformation, and the engagement is most important. Farming is, like politics, so personal. And to break down the food we have on the table comes from somewhere, not just the grocery store. And I have to really compel. I think it's great. To Lydia's point, the innovation piece is really important, and ultimately, how do we sell, dare I say, the policies that we have here to protect farmers and ultimately hear farmers' voices through that. But thank you very, very much.
Okay, thanks, Maria. Let's take some questions from the audience. We've had one from you, so maybe let's try someone else. Is there anyone else? No one has any comments about farming in your... yeah, sure. 686.
Hello. I'm Robert Lally. I'm a young farmer from the west of Ireland, and I want to congratulate you on your amazing speech. Us as young farmers across Europe have severe challenges ahead, but we also have great opportunities. As a young farmer in the west of Ireland, I just want to leave you with this. Once in your life, you may need a doctor. Once in your life, you may need a dentist. Once in your life, you may need a lawyer. But 3 times a day, every day, you need a farmer.
Not so much of a question. There is, I think it's 500 on the dot up there.
Good afternoon. My name is Lina. I'm from Amsterdam. And it's very clear that we need farmers and that they are essential in Europe. But I was wondering, why do you think this specific campaign is necessary? Thank you.
That's a good question. Thank you so much. And I think the answer is in what the young farmer just told us. We need a farmer 3 times a day. And without the farmers, only 11%, Sean told us, is below the 40 years old. Without farmers, we won't get that food. So you can't become a politician because you will need to have food. So we need to get people to value farmers. We need people to become farmers because we need no danger to our food supply.
I can't, I'm looking at the one behind. 198. I've got the numbers have all blurred in front of my eyes. Please.
Thank you for your presentation. I think it's really, really important because, as we've heard before, we need a farmer 3 times a day. I come from a rural area in Germany, and I work on a dairy farm, and I study agriculture, so this is a very personal topic for me. And my question is, in my impression, the farmers are really challenged at the moment, and how can we get the farmers back on our side? Because there are a lot of decisions made in the EU Parliament that directly affect the farmers and sometimes leave them angry. And how can we motivate them to maybe get into politics or do something so that we can get them back, win them back?
Oh, completely. A huge thing in the last while has been this huge jeopardization of farmers, and they bring the food that we need to eat. And especially in the climate sphere, we've only 10% of emissions coming from farmland and farmers, and there's a huge amount of other avenues where we can focus on, instead of demonizing a group of people that all they do every single day of the week is support the people that are complaining about them. And Ursula von der Leyen was speaking during the week and said we need to intensify efforts for reducing emissions, but I don't think it's by really honing in on the farmers. We need to look at everything else first and then get the farmers back on our sides, because we need them on our sides or else we'll be completely lost. So yeah.
Okay, that's it. Now we head to our vote. Have they compelled you? Will this social media campaign stop you from scrolling? The vote's open. Let's have a look. So, green if you're in favour, you can abstain if you wish, and red if you think that this wouldn't stop you from scrolling. We're going to move through. This is our penultimate group now, so the result will start coming. Remember, there will be, after this, there will be then the 3 top groups will have a 1-minute possibility to persuade you to make them the actual final winner. So, get your vote in. We're going to close it any second now. Let's close the vote. The vote is closed. Let's see your result. So 201 in favour. Very well done. 79 against and 31 abstentions. Congratulations. I think we're going to see you shortly. I think that pretty much seals you in the final.
I can't do the mental maths on this, but I think this is going to be tight. Okay, our final group, last but certainly not least, a big, warm European Parliament welcome to Team Solidarity.
Which one do I switch?
This one.
This one.
Yes, the microphone.
Thank you, Jan. So we will actually want to begin our presentation by quoting a great European who talks about solidarity. So this is the Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, and he wrote once, "If one is truly to succeed in leading a person to a specific place, one must first and foremost take care to find him where he is and begin there." And this is the secret in the entire art of helping.
Yes, and we believe that this humble and enthusiastic approach is the one that EU should have when they help or solve political problems. So in our group we have discussed the demographic deficit in EU. So to start with, what is the problem? In this case, the demographic deficit in EU means that we have a low birth rate combined with an aging population. And don't get us wrong, we're happy that our grandparents are living longer and that they are with us. But the imbalance of not having enough young Europeans is difficult for the society. So why is this happening? We discussed this a lot from different perspectives, like economical perspectives, but we come to the conclusion that a very important factor is that we are divided in values. Who, you might ask? Well, the different divisions in the demographic groups. So that means different generations and different ethnic and cultural groups, and also people with different educations. So why care about this in the first place? Well, reduced workforce is affecting the productivity and the economic growth. It also puts a lot of pressure on healthcare with a growing proportion of the elderly population. The demographic imbalance can also cause political, cultural, and social conflicts. We should also care for these reasons, that stronger bonds equals shared goals and visions to develop Europe. More connections equals better integrations, and more connections equals less loneliness, and that equals citizens with better mental health, and that equals happier and healthier Europeans. And more connections eventually also leads to more births. So we wanted to state some facts also. The value of family is declining, and there's also a trend of putting yourself first. And you can also see on the statistic that there are less younger people. So our message is that our values are future, and that we believe in that if we are united in values, we have a united Europe. So what can the EPP Group do? Well, we want the EPP Group to, first of all, include values in the EPP preamble, and also make education awareness programs, anti-discrimination legislation, financial support, political dialogue and cooperation, cultural exchange, and improving social protection. So we want to convert mistrust to support, and therefore we have made a social media campaign. We have made an awesome video that we will show you soon, but here are first some photos. Girl power. Who are you? Tell us, we want to know. And seize your future.
And now we want to finish off the same way as we started with the Kierkegaard quote, understand before you help. And now let's watch the video.
It is your responsibility not to let your people suffer at the hands of trolls on social media.
Today, for the first time, the EU makes a legally binding commitment to combat violence against women. And I say well done to the Swedish presidency. It just shows what you can achieve when you're politically motivated to get the right result.
The Iranian women, the change makers in Iran, we support you. I want to be crystal clear. We wholeheartedly support the aspirations of the Iranian people who want to live in a free, stable, inclusive and democratic country.
We were with you then, we are with you now, we will be with you for as long as it takes. Freedom will prevail, peace will reign, you will win. Slava Ukraini.
Own your own future.
So, Maria, would you like to make a comment, or Lydia maybe? Maybe both of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation, and really would love to learn more about how you envision it to go out to all 27 member states and that connection piece. I certainly picked up points of it, and I think your ultimate goal in terms of what you just presented is on point, and certainly something we actually as a group, I certainly haven't really considered until you educated me on it, so thank you very, very much. But would always love to hear some more. Thank you. Thanks.
No? Should we move to some questions? Should we take some questions from the audience? Right. Raise some hands. This is the final opportunity. Anyone got any questions, any comments they want to make on that final campaign? It's late in the day, but surely someone has something they want to say. Am I missing some hands? Someone has to have something to say. Your last chance to speak in the Parliament. There is a hand. There we go. Thank you.
Yes. As a young woman, I'm really interested in what you think of the role of a woman in your campaign, because I was wondering, one of your facts stated that there is a problem that women actually fulfill their own career and that they pursue their career, and then your video was kind of in contrast to it. So I'm, as a young woman, I want to have the possibility to pursue my career, and I'm a little bit confused about what your campaign actually wants to do with that and in which direction it should go.
Okay, so we want to stress that family values and pursuing women's career are not in contradiction. Our campaign wants to prove that you can have it all, and it is possible to have both family and a successful career and life. And we need to make sure that this is really possible by providing fair legislation on the EU level, for example. Thank you.
Okay, 339. Another question up there. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, I studied humanities, so I liked that you started your presentation with Kierkegaard, but I'm also a bit confused about the message, and I'm also a bit afraid that it could be contradictory with some of the things the EPP stands for, because this EPP also stands for the responsibility of the individual for their own lives, and the EPP stands for the free market, and you said you can have it all. I'm struggling with this statement, and sometimes it's even the market that makes it difficult to combine all. For instance, if you have to move somewhere else for your career.
I don't recall saying you can have it all. Our message is to encourage discourse between people, so that we find what we have in common values. Yes, I don't really understand your question. Sorry.
You can have another.
Well, I generally find it difficult for us, for a party or for a campaign, to try to stop the trend of individualization. And I think in one of the answers it was said that it's possible to have it all. Maybe not in that wording.
Yeah, we don't mean that there aren't obstacles in terms of economics, but we argue that some action has to be made because the demographic crisis is a real issue, and we need to somehow encourage people to have more children. And of course, the individualistic nature of our population and the fact that women want to pursue their career is a very positive phenomena, and we actually encourage it, but there needs to be some action taken, and this is what our campaign is about, that we need to find a way to somehow combine those values.
Okay. Final question came from 200. Sorry, we'll move on. From number 200. Hey.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. I'm just interested in why did you choose that topic? Maybe you can just say something about that.
Values? Values? Oh, the demographic... that was not chosen, it was given to us. And it was also, we were told, the hardest one, so yeah.
It's a really tough one.
But we can also say that when we live in time of crisis, I think that the message for the EPP in the next elections should be that we stand united in values and that we take this opportunity and seize the future.
All right. Okay. So, no, you stay. You must have the vote. Okay, so this will be our final vote in this way. So, do you think that this will stop the scroll? Let's open the vote. The vote is open. Is this campaign going to stop you from scrolling? Or is it going... Or do you not think it will? We'll give everyone a few moments. This is the last time that you'll vote in this way, so in favour, against, or abstention. Okay. Get your votes in. We're going to start closing the vote because we need to wrap this up, so we're going to move on. Okay, the vote is closed. Let's see how you did. Result. 61 in favour. It's all right. 191 and 38 abstentions. It's a really hard thing to do to come up and pitch. You did a great job, guys. So thank you very much indeed.
Well done. I'll take that.
Okay, so now I'll hand over to Joanne as we move to our final round. They are the final votes. The team are now going to top them up and give us the list from first to eighth. We will just wait for that to happen, and when it comes on the screen, we will know. But in the meantime, Joanne will explain what's going to happen next.
So as the technical team are counting up the votes, the top 3 teams are going to have an opportunity to deliver a 1-minute elevator pitch. So the nominated spokesperson from each of the top 3 teams will come on stage and they will deliver their pitch. You will then have one question, and that question is, who's your winner? So no Q&A, the question is, who's your winner? So listen very carefully, and Jack will then open the vote.
Yeah. No, she's saying keep on going. Keep talking, Jack, keep talking. I've been talking all week. We'll keep going as we tell out the vote. So, yeah, it's an important thing because we'll give out prizes for the second, third, second and first. And the first are going to be able to pitch to the social media team to actually turn this into a campaign. And they are going to be able to attend the group event. I don't actually know where that is, but, you know, where is it? Somewhere. In the coming weeks. Okay, now, just as I have my flawed information, but we have the results. Drum roll? Should we have a drum roll? A little drum roll? Okay, let's find out who's through. They're going to come on the screen. There we go. Woo. So, your welcome is in the lead with 224, Refarm on 201, and the cyber team on 167. So they will all come, and you will be able to choose between them. You want to?
I have a question to this results. My question is, why isn't this percentage? Because there are weren't a lot of people in the beginning. They came.
This is a problem we've had in both times that we've done this in this way. The truth is that it is in this House a majority vote, and everyone has to turn up. And that is what happens. That's what happens. You've got to get it over the line. If MEPs don't turn up and vote, they don't get to do it. It would be possible to do a percentage, but we did tell everyone they needed to be on time. That was the deal. So we now know that these are our 3 winners. And can we just have a massive round of applause for the 5 teams that didn't make it? It really is difficult to stand up on a stage, come up with an idea in basically 48 hours. They've worked through the night and they've been really great. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to hand to Joanne.
So we have our nominated spokespersons from each of the groups. So can I ask Basil to the stage, please? May I also invite Susanna? Over here? Over here, yeah. And then finally, we are going to invite Ella. So this is a very important moment. Each of you have 60 seconds. Okay? 60 seconds. And after you finish, Jack will reopen the vote. And the question is, who is your winner? So this is the final moments. Are you ready? Okay. May you go first, Basil? And go in that order as you're standing, please. And address your...
Speak up as this?
Yes. Yes, please. Oh, on the microphone. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Is it on? Yeah. Recent events showed us that we are more interconnected than we thought. We as Europeans need to take our own destiny into our own hands. We simply need a bigger presence in this world.
This is why we need EU enlargement. But there is a bad actor standing between us and that goal. And that bad actor is disinformation. We need the backing of European citizens to enlarge our union. So we need to make sure that Europeans get their facts straight. A campaign that makes sure, that challenges these lies and misconceptions about EU enlargement will convince Europeans that once again, the most convenient way of securing our prosperity and our security is by making sure our continent is united. Once we have eliminated much of the disinformation, Europeans will be reassured about the success of enlargement. It will be clear that besides what the current members bring to the table, the added benefits of what other non-EU countries in Europe can bring cannot be ignored. So we need to say once again to the brave people of Ukraine and other nations, you are welcome, so that we as the EPP, the largest party on this continent, can say we are welcome for enlarging our union.
You might need a doctor in your life. You might need a teacher in your life. But you need a farmer 3 times every day. The words from this young farmer were very inspiring and very clear. Right now, we live in a reality where it's not appealing to become a farmer, but we need those farmers 3 times a day. Our food supply is in big danger if we don't act up now. I want to ask you again, would you become a politician? If your parents should be a politician, if there's no hospital in the neighborhood, if you should leave, if you should have $1 million for investments before you can get a chair in this room, you probably wouldn't, because it's ridiculous. But it's the reality for young farmers, and so we need to change this. We need to invest in subsidies. We need to invest in an environmental plan. We need to invest, and so farmers can become our future, because when we have the young farmers, we will have food and we will have a future, because we are the youth, we are the change, and we are the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So every single day at our fingertips, we have a whole universe of knowledge, opportunities, and experiences. I'm sure that some of you are holding that universe in your hand right now. And what I want to highlight is that this is a space that deserves to be safe, that deserves to be effective and accessible and safe for all of us to use. What I really want to highlight is the fact that through this campaign, we are simultaneously bringing the EPP closer to its youth, encouraging more civic engagement, encouraging doable action and interest in policy and things that affect our life. Politics is not only what we see on TV, but it is also what we contribute to our society. So let us all contribute creating a safe cyberspace. Thank you.
Okay. Stay where you are. Yes, sorry, I thought you were going to leave. Stay where you are. Okay, so now it comes to the nitty-gritty. I'm going to give each of you a card. And these are going to be how you're going to vote. So, if you would like to vote for the team that worked on cybersecurity, you're going to do the cybersecurity campaign is going to be the green. For the Farmers for Future campaign, it would be the white. And for the You're Welcome campaign, you're going to press the red button. Have a think. Can everyone see? Can you all see at the back? Do you know which one it is? You can't see? No? Am I in the way? Am I in the way? Yeah. Make sure you know. So, you will press the red button, which will feel counterintuitive, but you will be voting in favour of You're Welcome. The white button, which will feel like you're abstaining, but you're not, you'll be voting in favour of the Farmers for Future, and the green button will be for the cybersecurity campaign. Everyone clear? Let's do it. Let's open the vote. The vote is open. So remember, you're voting in favour of the team that you want to win. Who is these? who holding the coloured card, which of the campaigns is the one that you would like to win this whole thing, for the opportunity to pitch their campaign to the social media team of the group and to attend the main group event? Show your cards around to all of your teams over here. I think everyone's clear. Okay. I'm feeling nervous. The tension. I think it looks like most of the voting's done. If you haven't cast your vote, do it now, because we are going to move on. 5, 4. It's a big moment. You guys have done really great, honestly. It's a really hard thing to do a 1-minute pitch as well. Let's close the vote. The vote is closed. Yeah, a bit of a drum roll, bit of tension. Fingers on the desk. Okay. Stay. Okay. Can I ask all 3 of the teams down? Can you guys... Yeah, Maria. Oh, sorry. Can I ask all 3 of the top 3 teams to come down, please?
We'll leave the winners.
So, no, please. Everyone gets a little prize. So, in 3rd place was the cybersecurity. No. Yeah, 3rd place was cybersecurity with 49 votes. 2nd place was You're Welcome with 107 votes. And a very clear winner of 191 votes was the Farmers for Future. So, yeah. Yeah. That's lovely. So if I can ask you to just take, once the photos are done, you're cool? Oh, sorry. Going to take the photo. If I can ask you all to take to the side, and we'll bring you up. So the 3rd place team will ask Lydia to give. So if you were the 1st or 2nd team, please head off to the side.
Okay.
The 3rd place team was you guys, the cybersecurity team. So a huge round of applause for our 3rd place team. There's a medal each. Have you got the... Yeah. Big round of applause. Now let's invite our 2nd... Oh, one more pick.
You make sure they have a nice picture.
Yeah, I've got to make sure they've got a picture. Well done, guys. Great, and thanks, Lydia. And for our 2nd place team, You're Welcome. The more I say that, I want to sing the Moana song. So, huge congratulations. Yeah. A very compelling speech as well, which I'm sure got him more votes than perhaps the topic as well. Well done, guys. Great work. And obviously, congratulations to our winners, the Farmers for Future team. Do the anthem at the very end. At the very end, and then everyone goes. Well done, guys. And well done. Yeah, big round of applause for everyone. Please go back and take your seats for the last moment. Well done. And just Just a round of applause for everyone in here. You all participated in the workshops. You all contributed to this. So just a massive round of applause for all the effort that's been put in. Okay. Yeah, no worries. We're nearly done. Just ask everyone to take their seats quickly. You'll be heading off soon. I can't believe that this week has happened so quickly. But I really want to make some big thank yous. And we're going to start with the photographers that have been with us. Martin, Paul-Henri, Theo and Arnaud. If you haven't been on the Flickr yet, get on that EPP Group Flickr account. There is photos of every single one of you that you can use for your social media, and they've done a great job. We love those guys. A big thanks to Thomas, our sound guy, and Dorothy at the back, and everyone in the gallery, the tech team. It's really hard work for them. They've been fantastic. Poor old Thomas has to deal with me and Joanne coming in and getting our things on all the time. A massive thanks to the facilitators in the groups yesterday and everybody that came and participated. They were wonderful. I think I can see, no, I can't see them anymore. And I also, the whole events team that puts this on, have you guys enjoyed yourself this week? Right. The events team worked so hard from months and months putting this together. And I do want to make some names. Angelica Klobusicka, sorry if I butchered your name. Momo Matten as well, who does the tech up at the back, she's amazing. Daniela Steiner, who, honestly, this woman's email inbox is something that none of us should ever have to go through, and she's amazing. Marta Kenya, Laura Gudonovicitu, oh God, I've absolutely butchered that, a Lithuanian name. Laura, up at the back, we love you. Sorry for mangling your name. A huge thanks to Joanne Sweeney, who has just been amazing, and to Sophie as well, who you've all seen. What they've done, the effort they've put in has just been absolutely incredible. And I think we need Fiona Kearns to stand up for us, who leads the team. Stand up. Yeah. She's the boss of this, and she's absolutely incredible, and it's been really wonderful.
Thank you, Jack. Jack is epic.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Jack. Have you enjoyed the week?
I love this week. I love it. It's been so amazing. It's been so interesting. Not just being here hosting, but also speaking to you. I've had an opportunity, and it's been wonderful. The biggest thanks, though, goes to you for turning up, for participating, for getting engaged. It's been amazing. So one final round of applause, then we'll have the EU anthem, and then we'll go home.
So before we have the anthem, just to remind you that lunch is served in the youth village, and you can collect your luggage, and there are some rotating visits this afternoon before you depart us. But thank you all, and let's stand.
Stand for the anthem. Well done, guys. Well done, dude. Well done. Gracious winners. Well done.